All right, here we go, Jack. We're alive again.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning to anybody who's out there. I don't think anybody's out there just yet, but it's only a matter of time before we are inundated.
Yep, they're
How was
coming
the
through.
weekend, Jack? Any big things done this weekend?
No, actually, we had a really nice weekend. We had a date night, which was nice. We had a lot of kid time on
Was this?
Sunday,
I assume you mean you and your husband?
of course.
Okay.
Which is it's always activities and sports is the first weekend in months since we didn't have anything, so it was really nice. We got to enjoy being adults, which was nice. Going out to dinner. We had a party on Saturday. It was like I was slept in very late, 9:30.
Wow.
I
Hey,
know.
so you said you had this date night. It was just the two of you. That's a rare thing. I know
Yes.
that. Now, is it the kind of thing where you're around your children so much when you go out for date night with John, do you find yourself cutting his food for him?
No, but it's funny. We yesterday because they stayed with my sister-in-law, and then during the day at one point we were like, we don't even know what to do with ourselves.
There
We
was
were
too much
talking.
free time.
The house was clean, laundry's folded. We're just kind of waiting.
Was that unsettling for you?
No, it's nice, but you're always just as a busy parent and in general busy life, you're just so used to go 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 that even though I force myself sometimes to what I think is slow down, really isn't. When I actually do stop, I really don't know what to do.
Well, but that's a theory of mine, though, that the reason that people don't have their stuff more together is because, that situation that you dream of where everything is taken care of,
Yeah,
all the bills are paid and the kids are dressed and the
yeah,
house is clean and whatever. If you ever get there and have nothing to worry, that's very unsettling.
it is. I guess it is in a way because I was like, well, I need. There wasn't even. There's no laundry to be put away. Like there was
You
nothing
do,
to do.
yes.
We're usually so on top of it, and so then just those little things. And my children are amazing, so it's not like but it's just funny to not have to do something else.
Yep.
So it was nice. We said so like this was really nice. I'm like this was nice.
I think I understand. It was nice,
Yeah,
but temporarily.
yeah. I'm ready for the
Just
crazy
about.
already. Short
That's
lived.
right.
Short lived.
Yeah, you see, that's the problem is that if you're in the crazy, you don't have to anticipate the crazy.
No,
But if everything is calm, then it's all anticipation. Then your mind goes nuts.
it's true.
Yeah, so
It's
you can
true.
never
It's
do that
exactly
alone.
what it
You always
is.
have to have some disaster pending.
You know how I feel about that. I always need something.
That's right. All right. Well, listen, we have something today for people. We're going to talk about portion control today. We've discussed this topic before. It is an important topic. It is not everything. There is a lot
No.
that goes into health, that goes into weight loss. Obviously, there are factors like your metabolism.
Hmm.
There is nutrition. Actually, portion control is not necessarily nutrition. For some people, that means only one Big Mac
Yeah.
and not supersizing the fries.
Small
But
fries.
so there are a lot of factors, but portion control is not nothing.
Right.
We live in a country, in a society that we have no sense of proper portions anymore.
It's true.
This is a big problem.
Yeah.
What is it specifically that you wanted to discuss under the umbrella of portion control?
I think there's a lot of miscommunication when it comes to portion control because I think that when you say portion control, everyone's like, oh, this is going to be terrible. I have to portion my food. They think it requires work, too much effort. They're not going to be eating enough. They're not going to feel full. There's a lot of misunderstandings about it. And I think even myself, as I've learned over the years, that it is not that. It's actually when you're eating the right foods and the right amounts, you are full. And when you portion it out, it actually saves you time. And
Hmm.
it's the complete opposite of what everyone's theory really is.
Got it. Now, you touched upon something which is sounds like a fear that people might have that they're not going to be satiated, that they're not
Oh,
going to be full. We
absolutely.
seem to have this idea that we have to be full.
Yeah.
It's probably some combination of the ancient hive brain, the part of our brains that is all about survival, and
Hmm.
the full belly means good survival,
It's
and
true.
probably combined with take that and then marketing and then, parents and grandparents pushing food on us like we're
Yeah.
supposed to do that. So there is a lot of factors mitigating against us eating like normal human beings.
Right.
Um,
It's funny though because our thing is like you don't eat until you feel full, and that's always a thing that people would say. I would hear often like eat until you're full. But the
right.
truth is, it takes time for your body to feel full from what you're putting in your mouth. So if you just keep doing, sometimes you just feel
Yeah.
like I just want to lay there and I can't function. But it's not every meal has to be that way.
Right. And here's something that most people do not know about feeling full. Everything in the body is controlled by hormones to some degree, right? These are the chemical messengers that dictate everything from sleep to mood to, weight gain. There is a hormone that tells you when you are full.
Hmm.
When your hormones are out of whack, which they are for a lot of people who are overweight or obese, that hormone doesn't really work anymore. That is one of the hormones that get, for lack of a better word, broken.
Oh,
We don't know, an obese person really doesn't know. This is not true in every case, but in a lot of cases, when they're full. So they will keep eating until they are sick.
yeah.
It's something that we've seen over and over. So, what can we do, Jackie, to assist people when it comes to portion control?
Well, for us, I mean, overall, obviously, we do have our what we call the
That's a
think list.
softball question, by the way. That's just like I'm putting that on a tee for you.
That
Go,
is like you're literally like, what can we do? Well,
feeding you. I'm feeding you. Pardon the pun.
we do have our thinkless containers, which are amazing. I mean, they're color coordinated for what you need to be eating. So your fruits, your vegetables, your proteins, and I know your healthy fats as well. So it breaks it down. It's all there. It makes prep work, planning, and making better decisions just that much easier. It's simple as that. It lays it out for you at a glance. You can just plan.
Yes. So I just happen to have the thinkless containers here, and I want to talk a little bit about this. So this is what these containers look like. And I want to talk about them because really they solve a couple of problems that are big problems. One is they solve the problem, obviously, of portion control.
Yes.
But two, they solve the problem of thinking and they solve the problem of structure.
Mm-hmm.
Just this little tool, if you just resolve to fill up the containers like you're supposed to and eat just that and not, fill it up 12 times, then that just handles that very, very easily
Oh
and
yeah.
very, very nicely. So what we do is, first of all, a lot of people don't know this. We have an intro program that we call the Thinkless program. I love this program for kids because it teaches them proper portion control. It teaches
Oh,
them to
absolutely.
eat, right? But the other thing is that we can take any of our programs and make them quote unquote thinkless by using these containers.
Yeah.
Again, we have people who are overwhelmed. We're always thinking about this because it's just such a theme in our society. And I think it's at
Oh,
an all time high. And this is one way to alleviate some of that overwhelm, right? Instead of measuring your food, you just put it in these containers and you don't have to think about that. And that can be
right.
done on any of our regular programs.
Absolutely. The plus side too, and like you hit on something when you say for kids and for teens, not just kids. Right now we have, we've all heard of the freshman 15, right? Everyone getting ready to go back to college or maybe going to college for the first time. Now you're set to be an adult without any type of supervision, without any type of structure, and you're just living off the food on college campus. This is ideal for them as well. This just makes things that much easier for them.
Jackie, I remember being a freshman in the dorm, and it was like a nightly thing. We would order sliders at midnight and we would eat those. And
We
then, of
had
course, there's the beer. Like the freshman 15, we have to do a talk just on this alone.
we really should. We really should do that next week because last week when I was in college, same thing. There was a diner by us that had the most amazing cheese fries, and it was like it didn't
I
matter if
was
it was
going to say disco fries. So, right?
oh
I
my
mean,
god, with gravy, and it
yeah.
was like And I always make extra cheese because you want to make sure you get it in between. You didn't want to get the dry fries.
You were afraid that you weren't going to have enough cheese on your cheese fries? Oh, that's
I
bad.
always ask for extra cheese. There, some places skimp out, and I don't want a dry fry on the bottom. Layer it up.
Where
Fried
was
cheese,
this?
fried cheese.
Where did you go again?
College of Staten Island. CSI.
So okay, so this was in Staten Island. You had a diner that had great cheese fries, and sometimes maybe if you had a little too much to drink, you would end up there.
Oh well, if we too much to drink, actually not so much in Brooklyn. Vegas diner, that's where you would get the disco fries.
You would go over the bridge.
Well, I didn't dorm, so I lived in Brooklyn. I'm
So
from
you were
Brooklyn.
you were
Yeah.
commuting. Okay, but so the people who commute, do they still get the freshman 15?
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
not much is changing though.
I'll tell you what's changed now. The new freshmen now, they hang out at Starbucks. They're at like locals, right? If you
Yeah.
ever just go anywhere, they're loaded up. Their Starbucks drinks this big, and it's like less coffee and more sugar of everything else
Interesting.
that's in
Yes.
it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's their version of their. There's no diners really anymore that do that. There's no late night diners.
Where
Very few
there are late night. Are there no late night diners?
by certain colleges. By I
No, there's
mean,
no late night Starbucks.
well, some place I think they're open pretty late on campus because they're on every campus now.
You do make a good point though, because if I was in school, let's say studying or pretending to study at a coffee shop, the idea is we would have coffee.
Yes.
It would help us stay up,
Yeah.
or it would give us a little boost, or it was just a place to be, so you didn't have
That's
to
how it
study
started
at
for
home,
me.
right?
Yeah.
Now they're not just having a coffee; they're having some kind of a crazy coffee frap with who
Yeah,
knows
it's a
what it is,
frappuccino.
and that's like 800 calories.
Yeah. When I was a kid, when I was in college, I that's how I started with coffee, but it was coffee. It
Coffee
was,
for coffee.
like I would get a coffee,
Yeah,
it was, yes, maybe there was a creamer or things like that. And then it kind of progressed into like different types of fun ones. But now it's frappuccino, it's macchiato, lots
right.
of
It's
extra
something that
cream,
may have coffee in it.
maybe, or flavoring, coffee flavoring.
Yes, it has some kind of crap in it. Then they put like 7 pumps
Yeah,
of that pure fructose. So,
literally
that's not
goes
ideal.
right to the head.
Hey, what chances, we didn't we should again, we should really talk one of these days about college,
Let's do
about
it.
college kids, what they're
Coming on the
facing,
season.
how to mitigate it, how to change it, because it is really a very treacherous situation when you're talking about college. How do you avoid it between the alcohol, the late night eating, and the who knows what else? I mean, there's
Yeah.
other things that the kids do in college that makes them more prone to eating.
That's a whole other story. But I feel like, especially now, and it's also kind of like a rite of passage, right? You go, and it's kind of like free for all. You're getting your independence. You try to figure yourself out, but bad habits happen very quickly, and they're very hard to turn around. So I feel like even then, now having a free for all, you may be responsible with everything else, but if you can control some sort of food, that 80-20 rule, I think it's definitely a conversation worth having.
The saving grace in college is that the kids, for the most part, are all doing intermittent fasting, and it's not their intention. But
No.
when you sleep past noon, you're going to miss a couple of meals, right?
Well, it
So,
depends on exactly. Well, it depends on what it is. So if they are, we can actually turn it around and structure it so you know exactly what you're doing.
true story, Jackie. My roommate and I in the dorm freshman year, we
I'm
used to,
afraid.
we used to set our alarm clock so we wouldn't miss hot lunch downstairs because they would have hot lunch until, let's say, 1 o'clock. And then after that, it was only like the cold lunch, right? So we would set it at 12:45 so we could run down and we could get hot lunch.
Now, but it's like you walk around. Like, so Princeton, my daughter's home at Princeton, and we we go there and walking around the town. I mean, have like the best restaurant. Like they're the cutest little restaurants, like boutique style, big, large, small diners, actual restaurants,
Yeah,
good
but that's
food.
more like yuppie Princeton, and
But
presumably the kids aren't eating there all the time. At those
no, but I feel like I do see a lot of college kids working there, reaping the
stores.
benefits of it. So they are surrounded by good food,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
you
Princeton
know?
does have great food. So I do want to mention this because we were talking about how treacherous it is to be in college. We are at a treacherous time right now. It is August 7th today. Uh, the summer is ending soon. Now, I feel like this summer, more than most any summer, people were dying to get out. There's something
Yeah.
called, I guess, revenge travel. Uh,
It's a thing.
you're stuck at home, so now people are taking advantage of that. I mean, it's been kind of a mad rush, and that's in spite of the fact that the weather has not been ideal for the most part.
We haven't had the ideals. No.
Yes, but people have still wanted to enjoy this summer. We know that. We see it every day. People are coming in and, they're partying like it's 1999. And here's the problem, though, also, is that before we know it, it's going to be September. And between September, when everything changes, right? So I feel like people are going to be coming back like the soldiers from war, and that's going to be a crazy time as everyone tries to get their schedules right, get their kids going again. Between mid-September and November, like Thanksgiving, it's not that long a time.
I feel like it's
And
so fast, and it gets faster every year for some reason.
right. So we're really at a really delicate
Crucial point.
moment right here
Hmm.
between the summer where everyone's going crazy. We know how it is around the holidays.
Hmm.
People need to gain control right now.
Absolutely.
Shameless plug, the thinkless containers and the
Thousand
thinkless
percent.
program that we're talking about, let me show it again, are a tool of
Okay.
control. That's the whole idea. That's what we're
Hmm.
trying to help people with. Uh, uh, Ease the feeling of overwhelm, give a greater sense of control and actual control. So I do
Absolutely.
want everyone to consider that. We are adding them to 40-day programs as a promo. It is a valuable tool. So just be aware of that and give us a call.
Yeah, definitely. It's really something that will solve a problem now and later. So even if you're not 110% committed now, if you have a plan, you will be more successful. So if you have some sort of plan to fix yourself or get yourself back in order and in shape, not just even health wise, just mentally. I mean, I feel like when you're doing the right things for your body, you feel better. Everything seems to feel better.
The worst plan is better than no plan at all.
Correct.
And people know this, and people can, kind of have resistance to an actual plan to structure. It's the kind of thing, when you don't have it, you want it desperately. Like, oh, I wish
Mhm.
I had some kind of a plan.
I
And
wish
then
I had
when you do
something
have
right.
it, you rebel against it.
Right.
I mean, it's just sort of this balance that we as human beings go through, presumably all the time.
Right.
Some people aren't like that. They don't have that
No.
that innate resistance, and they just love to be on some kind of a plan. But it is necessary to have at least the loose outlines of one, if not a very strict one that's going to
I
support
need it.
your goals. Absolutely.
Even though the tools are always there, I feel like I'm always trying to make a better decision. And even at a bad decision, try to make it a little bit better. But I feel like I always do better with a structure. I need plan, I need a structure, I need to be able to think at least 3 to 5 days ahead.
Yeah.
It's just how I am. No, and even it's not that I wouldn't necessarily make bad decisions in what I'm eating, but I'd also sometimes make no decision, which is even worse,
Yeah.
where I'm skipping meals or, oh, I forgot my supplements. Like, I have to be honest, I'm one of those, same thing. First week back with my supplements for the past 3 weeks on and off, I was like, I don't think I've taken a full week of supplements
Right.
and not even a full week, a full day.
And you
I'll take
notice,
it.
yeah.
It's just little things like that. And then what happens is, oh, okay, I'll figure it out. And one thing starts to go off, and then it's the next thing. It's like, oh, I really didn't drink a lot of water today.
Right.
Or I didn't. And the little things that I was doing without even batting an eye, it was just part of my everyday structure, have started to fall on the wayside. And then I start to kind of unravel a little bit. I'm like, oh, I didn't do this either. And now it's 3 things I'm not doing correctly.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, sometimes we play a game with ourselves and we
Yeah,
blunt our own awareness. And then
correct.
once the awareness starts coming back, once you take a little step with that and you see how much better it is, then your
Right.
awareness just increases for everything else.
And it's true. It doesn't come from, and especially for places, I was like, oh, summer's coming to an end. The truth is, it's not necessarily yet, right? Technically, summer is what, September 22nd, something like that.
It's not about
I
tech.
always, it's something like that. But we're only a month. It was a month ago. We are just a month into summer, and I feel like I was like, oh, once July's over, that's it. Summer's gone. But for me, kids' activities and whatnot come to an end the end of July. So for us, August is our real summer. This is when we get to enjoy. But the next 5 weeks before they go back to school, or the next 8 weeks before that, you have 8 weeks to really wrap yourself up and get it together.
There is
And still
going to
enjoy
be
yourself.
there's going to be a mad rush. Listen, we have Amazon; it
Yeah.
can be made very easily, but I don't care. There are going to be a bunch of Karens at Target knocking each other out of the way so they can get the last loose leaf notebook that their kid wants because
Mine already done.
yeah, because it has Barbie on it or something. So
Yep.
I think there's going to be a lot of madness. That's my
Yeah,
prediction. The traffic
absolutely.
is going to be crazy. Like I said, the example I used before is it's going to be like the soldiers coming home from World War II. It's going to be a bit of a mess. It's
Yeah.
always like that. People get a little off kilter when their schedules change again.
Hmm.
And that's happening right now. And that's the importance of structure. And that's the importance also on a related note of portion control. We're talking about this subject of control. Uh, Portion control, like we said, is not everything, but
No.
is so important because it's so easy to go crazy. Our
Oh yeah.
physiology and our society and our family. Do you stuff your kids? Are you like, oh, you're too skinny and just stuffing them and throwing food down their throat?
No, I definitely don't. I mean, I do. They eat good food, so there are certain things where I'm like, well, you definitely have to eat that. You have to finish this, and there is like compromise, right? They may feel full. Do they have to clear their entire plate? Not necessarily. Depends on what's on it and how much is on it.
Wait, what happens if they don't finish their plate? Is John finishing it?
No, well, it depends on how good it is. Sometimes,
You're okay? Are you sure that they don't have to finish the whole thing?
not all the time. Not all the time. No, it depends on what it is. Like, you know, like I said, they definitely balance out their plate. But if they're finishing all of their potatoes, but they're not eating their protein or their vegetables, yeah, that you've got to eat your other stuff first. So it's kind of like what they eat first and how they finish it. They don't have to finish necessarily all their food.
I've got to tell you something, Jackie. So this is a difference in parenting because as far as I know, everyone from my generation, everyone had to finish everything on their plate,
Oh
or
yeah.
they had a brother like me who did it for them.
Well, it's funny. My kids do joke like, "Oh, I want to be part of the clean plate club," and it's funny because
Oh, wait,
I
how did
never
they get that? That's my
I
thing.
don't
That was
know.
my
I know.
grandmother's thing.
But
Did you
a
get that
lot
from
of
me?
people say it. No, I don't know if I've ever said it. I don't think I've ever said it, but it was a joke. And I'm like, who says that?
I said
I
so.
know.
Let
I
me let me let me tell you something. I think I'm going to out my mother here, but pardon me.
said it.
The statute of limitations has run out on this. Uh, so I don't remember this incident, but I've heard that my mother demanded that my sister finish her cereal.
Okay.
And my sister didn't. She was a kid, she was young, and she refused. And they went back and forth. And then I guess, my sister got snotty or whatever about it. And my mother ended up dumping the cereal on her head.
No.
Yes, these days it would be DIFUS immediately, but back in the day you could do that kind of thing.
My mom used to tell me stories about my grandmother and my great grandmother. Same thing though. They would do like that. That was like the reaction.
Oh, they beat you up if you didn't eat.
Yeah. You're supposed to finish your plate.
Absolutely. I mean, they were coming from that generation, they were coming from the Great Depression.
Yes.
So it was crazy. You didn't not eat food. I went
No.
over to a friend's house one time. I was given an apple. I had a couple of bites. I didn't like the apple. I threw it out. The grandfather, a few minutes later, starts yelling. He's looking in the garbage and he sees this
Really?
half-eaten apple. Yeah, I felt horrible.
Really?
Yeah, I felt
Oh
like I
my
did something awful.
goodness. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, there's a lot involved with when it comes to food,
But it's different how they were raised.
and right, and it's different. And again, there are all these different factors. So
Right.
that's why we exist. We exist to help people live better while not
Absolutely.
living too well.
Right.
That's our job,
No,
right?
absolutely. We want to help you live your best life.
That's right. In certain ways.
In certain ways. Is there
Okay,
actually
listen.
a to that?
Let's end off here. I wish everyone a great week. We will help you with the madness, at least certain aspects of it,
We
right?
have the tools.
Yes, we'll help you at the very least with your weight, your physical health, and we're always here for you. Not always, I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean.
9 times out of 10.
No, it's just a matter of hours, right? Okay,
Have a great week, guys.
take care.
Bye.